Hello and welcome back to another episode of the DIYguide.net. Today we got a kitchen faucet. It's a Delta 2400 series, and as you can see we got a pretty steady drip. So we're going to go through the process of replacing the cups and springs and maybe a stem if it's bad, and that should stop it from dripping. This will work on most of your newer Delta faucets, kitchen or bathroom, as they all seem to use the cups and springs. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is turn the valves off that supply water to the faucet, hot and cold. Alright, next we'll come up top, turn the hot on, turn the cold on, make sure there's no water coming out and the valve's actually held. Next we'll take a utility knife, we'll pop off the caps over the screws so we can remove the handles. Hot, cold. Next we'll grab a screwdriver that fits these. These are Phillips, so we'll use a Phillips screwdriver. Remove the screws so we can remove the handle. Cold, and the hot. Alright, so now that we have our handles removed, we can go ahead and grab a pair of small channel locks. We'll remove these retaining nuts that hold the stem in position. Hot side, cold side. Once you have both retaining nuts off, you can adjust your pliers. We'll grab the stem right at the top, give it a little wiggle as you pull straight up, it should pop out. These are directional, so they matter which way they go. My thicker white part here that stops the handle from turning was pointing to the right, so I want to make sure I put them in the same way I take them out. What I do is set it the same way I pulled it out so I can't mix them up. We'll pull the cold out. So now that we have our stems removed, we can go ahead and grab a flat screwdriver and we'll remove the cup and spring. We'll just stick it down through the cup into the spring, pull it out all as one assembly. We'll throw the junk one out. We'll put the new cup on first. We'll put the new spring on next. We'll hold it with our finger and we'll push it right back into the same hole we removed it from. It should make a little pop sound when it goes in. It should sit pretty flush with the bottom of the faucet. And we'll do the same thing with the hot side. Remove it and install the new cup and spring. I just wanted to mention before we reinstall the stems, if you have water coming out from underneath your handle, you want to replace your stem, as there's an outer O-ring and an inner O-ring that causes the leak under the handle. So you want to replace the stem. Alright, now that we have our cups and springs installed in the hot and cold, we'll go ahead and reinstall the stem. First we're going to take plumber's mesh or emery cloth, just kind of sand the bottom to knock up any buildup before we reinstall it. Like I said, these are directional. You want to make sure you know which way the thicker white part was facing. Mine was facing to the right, so go ahead and reinstall it. Pick up the cold, we'll do the same thing. Knock off the buildup with the emery cloth or plumber's mesh. Go ahead and reinstall it with the white part facing that way. Once you got both stems in, you can go ahead and reinstall the retaining nuts. Hot and cold. We'll just want to snug these down with the pliers. The threads are very fine, so you don't want to strip them, you just want to snug it up. Alright, now that we have the hot and cold retaining nuts tightened down, we can go ahead and reinstall the handles. We'll slide them on, take our Phillips screwdriver, tighten down the screw. Same thing on the cold. Slide the handle on, tighten down the screw. Once you have both screws tight, we can go ahead and reinstall the caps. Put the hot on the hot side, cold on the cold side. Once we have both caps reinstalled, we can go ahead and turn on the valves that supply water to the faucet. So we turned on the valve, so we'll go ahead and turn the hot water on, turn the cold water on too. You might get a little discoloration in the water, it's only because you shut the valves off. It should clear up quickly. We'll go ahead and shut them off now. As you can see, we have no drip. So that's it, we just showed you how to replace the cups and springs in your Delta faucet or stem. Thanks for watching another episode of the DIYguide.net.